So we have a bit of a shorter read today,
Oh, yeah.
or performance today. Looks like we got about a little over about 4.5 pages or so.
Yeah, this is what happens, folks, when I don't budget time correctly. I could have written more. I really could have, because
Yeah.
it ends unsatisfyingly for me. But I already know what's going to happen. You know, I could have just written it down. Just tired.
Well, that's interesting you mentioned, and I'll get to that when we get to the discussion of this.
Okay.
All right. So you have full script page or
I
full
do.
page?
My
All
faces
right.
are hidden
Shall we
the way
begin?
people like it. I speak only for myself.
All people, both of us. Here we go. Exterior, Arizona Desert Trail, continuous. Captain Jebediah Hayes, 45, rides his horse as he leads his company of men up a trail towards Fort Bliss. The report of rifle fire draws his attention, and he pauses to focus. He hears more rifle fire from the fort.
Jebediah. Man, we need to march. Double quick time. The fort is under attack.
He nods at his officers, and the company picks up speed as they cross ground quickly. Drummers help maintain the ranks. They come over a bluff and can see smoke rising from the fort a quarter mile away. Concern twists Jebediah's voice.
Jebediah. Charge!
The company roars as Jebediah leads the charge, riding ahead. Exterior, Fort Bliss, continuous. He's confused when he finds the gates open and no attackers in sight. Instead, he sees a score of soldiers firing into the barracks frantically. He rides to them.
Jebediah. Lieutenant Jones, report.
Jones is too gripped in terror to respond. He and the handful of fort soldiers keep firing. Jebediah dismounts and grabs Jones by the collar.
Jebediah. Jones, report, damn it.
It takes Jones a moment to realize who's talking to him.
Jones. The men, sir. They won't die.
Jebediah's face screws up in consternation.
Jebediah. Why are you shooting the men?
Jones sputters, unable to speak until Jebediah shakes him.
Jones. They're eating each other, sir. And then they came for us. I don't know why I give these characters such scratchy voices. All right. That look in their eyes, like an animal. We had to defend ourselves. But when we shot them, they just got back up. We kept shooting.
Jebediah looks back incredulously. Then he hears chilling screams echo from inside the barracks. There's a streak of excitement in the screams as they get closer.
Jones. Oh, God. They're coming. They're coming. Reload and refire. Reload and fire.
You might want to back off the mic when you're screaming.
What?
You might want to back off the mic when you're screaming.
Okay.
It's clipping a little.
Sorry, everybody.
The fort soldiers fire blindly into the barracks. Jebediah's company arrives, and he begins issuing orders.
Jebediah. To officers. I want a firing line here and another on the wall. Be ready to fire on whatever comes out of the barracks.
The drummers and officers marshal the forces into formation. Jones and his small force retreat to the firing line. Jebediah mounts his horse and positions himself behind the firing line as well. The screams from the barracks approach.
Jebediah. Ready? The screams increase. Aim! They get louder.
Suddenly, half a dozen soldiers burst from the darkness inside the barracks. Some are missing facial features, like eyes. Others have flesh hanging in strips from their bodies. Nevertheless, they charge madly at the firing line.
Jebediah. Fire!
The firing lines unleash a volley, and the infected soldiers fall dead. Jones and a small group of survivors reload.
Jones. To all. Reload! Reload, damn you!
The dead infected
Those shoulders, man.
They're really bad. They keep writhing.
Exactly. Head and shoulders.
The dead infected soldiers begin writhing and slowly stand, incredulous.
Jebediah. Reload!
His company reloads. The undead soldiers shuffle forward.
Jebediah. Aim!
Before he can give another order, Jones and his men open fire. The undead stagger back, but are undeterred. More undead emerge from the barracks, enough to unnerve the front firing line, which instinctively recoils.
Jebediah. Fire!
Another volley of bullets. Undead are knocked back into the ground, but they get up, impossibly.
Jones. I told you! They don't die!
Jebediah's men look to him for guidance.
Jebediah. Fire at will!
The gunfire is sporadic now, with Jebediah joining in with his pistol. Nevertheless, the undead close the distance.
Sorry, I'm just reading. Did I write nevertheless twice? Did I use that somewhere else? It feels like I used it before.
I don't know.
Okay, it's fine. Here we go. Jebediah. Fix bayonets!
His men barely have time to do so before the undead are upon them. Some infected soldiers from the barracks join the pitched battle, making it difficult for the firing line on the wall to know who's an enemy. Some living soldiers get shot. Through the fray, Jebediah observes that the attackers shrug off any wound. He carefully aims at an undead's temple and fires. It falls and doesn't rise. To his men on the wall,
Jebediah. Aim high!
Another volley takes heads Another volley takes heads off shoulders. Recognizing the weakness in their enemies, Jebediah's company quickly dispatches.
Take a sip, Brian.
Another volley takes heads off shoulders. Recognizing the weakness in their enemies, Jebediah's company quickly dispatches the undead with bayonet stabs through eye sockets. The skirmish ends, but with the company decimated. Jebediah dismounts and approaches Lieutenant Jones.
Jebediah. Jones, what happened here? Jones. Sir, I'm not sure. Soldiers arrived last night from Epitaph. One of them had died from sickness on the way here. We welcomed them in and put the body in the infirmary. I swear, Captain, that man was dead. I checked the body myself, but this morning, during mess, there he was in the doorway, just staring at us with those dead eyes. Then the two soldiers who brought him here must have been sick too, because they were running like wild boars and just started biting the men. Not just biting, but eating the men.
Jebediah squints skeptically.
Jones. I know it sounds crazy, but the man that got bit must have picked up the disease, because they started acting just like the ones that bit them. By the time we mounted a defense, half the men were infected, screaming nonsense.
He wants to say more, but movement in the barracks catches his eye. Slowly, the sixth soldier from Epitaph emerges. Jones backs away reflexively. Jebediah draws his pistol and fires a round into the undead's leg. Hobbled, it keeps approaching. Jebediah fires another round, this time through the heart. No effect. When the undead is within arm's length, Jebediah fires it into his skull. It drops dead.
Jebediah. Jones, have the men police these bodies, then line up any of our wounded against the wall.
Jones nods and barks orders to soldiers who go about stacking bodies and helping wounded to move to a wall. Meanwhile, Jebediah examines the gruesome undead he just shot, as well as the carnage around him. Finally,
Jones. Sir, the men have done as you asked. What are we going to do with the wounded?
Jebediah shoots him a grim look before addressing the men who rush to stand at attention.
Okay.
It was a little bit rough on my end, sorry.